What up, Patroneers? So, this was the other kit you guys pretty much picked. And the cool thing is, this is sort of a threefer. So, we got the new Hazel 2 / Hazel Reserve Unit / Jim Quel. It's going to be a crazy one. It's going to be a lot of stuff to build. And a lot of different details. The cool thing is, like, essentially you go from that to that to that, just depending on parts. So, let's get her open. I was kind of excited about this. This means I get all three of my Hazels out of the way, essentially. Okay, so because this is a big old setup here, I figure out where to put this. You go over there. Stay over there. The lid of all things is being uncooperative. So I'll set that aside. So we'll start off here with just whatever's on top. And a lot of this will seem very familiar because Bag's on the floor. So we've got some MG 1/100 something. It's like, I think it's just Gundam. I don't know. That's ABS. No panel lining on that. So we got thruster, leg bits, ankle parts, hip parts, stuff like that. So it's old school hips. And we've got some, I think that's actually Hazel 2. Because it's got a big old 2 on it. Interesting. Yeah, that's new. What's this guy? 2017, so that's a much older kit, whatever it is. And foot bits, little venti pits there. There's that. These are just, oh, okay, so this is just Hazel, I guess. Yeah. So 2017, that's just a Hazel. Don't like they cram this in there so hard that it's slightly bent. That's annoying. Now, assuming this holds true to the previous Hazel units, there's going to need some painting, but we got some of the backpack thruster parts here. Same thing there. Big old orange vent parts, smaller vent parts here, all kinds of other smaller things. There's a visor for the Jim Quel, and that's wrist armor parts. So this is the parts that'll help make it a Jim, or a Hazel 2. Hold on, let me see here. That's Hazel 2 reserve unit, if I had to guess. Just in general. And camera parts there, but I'm guessing these need to be a different color. So that's always fun. Alright, and I say I don't have my Hazels ready. So that's the parts that usually go in the leg thrusters, ammo canisters, little bits and pieces there. So that's just off the regular Hazel. There's a big old shield. It's also Hazel parts. I like this. Here's a backpack part, so they actually sub out for the white backpack. Big old shield. There's the head armor. Stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Oh, there's a little pilot. Nice. Blue face. Yep. Because Hazel 2. Do that. Alright. There's a... This is interesting. So, because it's a mix-up of parts, you actually get the same runner in different colors. Alright, so that's kind of the same from before, but we get the collar, V-fin, chest vents, whatever those things technically are, and a few other bits repeated there. And that's literally the same runner, but in white, or off-white. Yeah, the whole thing is repeated. There's your cloth hose that you get on everything that's Mark II-ish. There's your beam saber blades. And I missed it earlier, but get the, if I can pick it up, water slides. So you get the Titans water slides here. And Hazel stuff, new Titan stuff. That's pretty cool. Test team. Titans command. Cool. Those are actually not terrible. And like, so far at least, it doesn't have the giant butt skirts stickers. See, the more interesting thing about this is what's going to be new. Okay, so we've got foil sheet. You got eyes and camera stickers galore. That's for all 3 units, kind of. I assume that somewhere along the way they'll use the same bits for stuff. Okay, so we got more foot parts, chest parts, eyes, top camera, just different. Ammo canisters like we saw before, foot parts, and this is, of course, Bandai showing off their multi-injection tooling, which is always impressive. Gotta love that. And some good old, I think this is just a straight up Hazel. Yeah, Hazel frame. It has some Mark II-ness about it, but it's mostly Hazel. Yep, from 2017. ABS will not be panel lined. Here we go, some new stuff. See, what's going to suck about this is I might have to do it as like separate, smaller reviews. Like, okay, here's the reserve unit. Here's the Quel. Okay, so that just says Hazel 2. Hazel 2. So, of course, somewhere along the way, this is where things start changing. Presumably, the instructions will tell you the different ways to build the thing. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of spare parts when this is done. The body doesn't change much. It's mostly add-ons, head swap, stuff like that. So, crotch part. Really annoying that V-fin isn't painted or anything. Is it a sticker? Yep, it's a sticker. Even on an MG, they can't get away from that. Probably paint it. We'll see. Normal rifle. I don't even know if this guy uses it. Looks like he uses a different one with a longer barrel, so that'll be interesting. Mark II 2.0 hand parts. Ah, here we go. Here's some new stuff. See what I should have done. I should have been separating the parts by old and new. So there's a lot of stuff from different kits in here. Okay, so that's more Hazel 2 parts specifically. Here's so here's this part again. New back skirt. Oh, this is interesting. The hoses are molded in right there. And rifle parts and something. Oh, here's new. That's got to be the Quel head. That's pretty cool. I don't know if there's different armor. There should be a different armor set for just the Quel head, I would have thought. And here's old school Mark II style frame and other things. Giant polycab sheet. Nothing we haven't seen before. There we go. There we go. Mark II 2.0 frame. Probably don't even use that much of this. I remember the original Hazel didn't. That's all the way back from 2005. I didn't think that's an old kit, but so good that they just keep using bits from it. So here's all the other stuff. So things that are going to need that nice cloth hose cover. And lastly, and not leastly, the knees. So the gym version, yeah, the gym and the reserve unit don't use the Hazel knees. Actually, I don't even think the Hazel 2 uses the big knees at all. Yeah, I don't think that's the knees there. So these are just for the Hazel. That's backpack, armor parts, shoulder parts, forearm armor, all kinds of bits we've seen before, at least twice. All right, so instructions. Let's come down a little bit here. See how they have it divvied out. That's a lot of X's that you're not going to use. That's crazy. Okay, so it tells you which version to do. All right, so you're starting out building just the Hazel. Okay, so you got, chest unit, Hazel 2 early type, Hazel reserve unit, Quel parts. Interesting. I'm guessing that the main thing that changes there is... So from here to here, it's just a chest vent. Or, no, just the collar. Let me swap that out. Yeah, so it tells you here which one to do what there. Okay, choose to assemble the Hazel 2 early type, the Hazel Razor, or the Gem Quel. So regardless, you get to there. I'm guessing if it wants you to do a different version, you pick out that. Otherwise, you do this. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how it determines which one you're doing. So that's Hazel 2 early type. Early type. Okay, so go to 1-7. If you want to... Oh, okay. I see what it is. So if you're going to do the reserve or the Hazel 2, you get to this point. If you don't, you're going to start out here. Is it the same chest part regardless? Let me look here. A19 P2. No, it is a different chest. Okay. So that means you can swap parts fairly effectively. Okay. Hopefully there's not a giant difference in parts so that like you can build one or the other. Okay, so one thing I was concerned about here. So the Hazel Reserve unit gets you here. Hazel 2 early type is here. Is it the same parts? That's O14. That's D4. That's O15. O15. I'm going to do the Gem Quel. That's O12. O13. Okay, so you can build... the main difference between here and here is the face. Yeah, okay, so the face part is exactly the same here. The front of the head, this changes depending on which unit you're going to do. So it would have been nice if they gave you all of the parts to accomplish it one way or the other. So this one uses the Hazel type head crest sensor. This one uses a more Gundam type, like this. And then this is just all as it is. Okay, so you can use the same antenna between here and there. Okay, so that's O13. O13 and O15 use the same antenna. So yeah, I'm going to have to change some things up. Okay, so the Hazel 2 early type, the only change I think in the arms is just here. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it seems like the only thing that's different for the Quel or the reserve unit is that. I could be wrong. Let's find out. Hazel 2 early type. Connect that to do that. Yeah, okay, so instead of... So it has the separate bits there. Everything else is exactly the same, so that's good. The fact that main construction is mostly exactly the same, you're just swapping armor parts, makes a huge difference. It does use the same shoulder armor regardless, it looks like. Yeah. So that's nothing that has to change. The legs are exactly the same according to that, so nothing major there. So yeah, it does not use the big normal Hazel and Hazel Custom. Or Advanced Hazel or Hazel Custom knees. So the legs are identical for all 3 units. That's cool. Don't have to switch that. Crotch is the same. Or waist. The waist is the same for all 3 units. That's good. And obviously the backpack is some of the major parts. So swapping out so building the head slightly different. I wonder if I have spare... I'll have to find my other Hazel box, my Hazel 2 or Hazel Advanced box, because if I have the same, because the colors are probably the same, if I have the same bits for the back of the head, or front of the head maybe, okay, so this, no, I bet not, I bet it's not the same. Okay, so that's just straight up Gem Quel and Hazel head, so okay, you can't do it that way. I wonder if can it build, is it the same? Where's the head structure? Because you do build the head differently, obviously, between the advanced Hazel and all that. So I wonder if I had the same parts. Let me go look, see real quick. Hold on. Okay, so those are all bits that are shared. Bits you don't use. Oh, that's funny. You can build a white head if you want. Okay, so let me go back to the head construction because I bet I might have spare parts. I might have spare parts. Okay, so for the Quel, definitely not. Reserve unit is D, which I believe is repeat. Yeah, I might have a spare one of these heads. D9 for the face. I don't know. I'll go look. But either way, that'll be something that I might be able to do. If I can build the heads mostly separately, I definitely will. I feel like the only thing I'm not going to be able to do. So all three heads. Yeah, so the early type, the reserve unit, and the regular head all have this little spot for the antenna in the back of the head. So that's different. Let me look here. Okay, so 015. 0115. So I'm trying to find runners here. That's Q. Okay, so 0115. Okay, so I can't without that part, I guess. So it's not really the front of the head that matters, it's the back of the head. But it would be nice to be able to just swap stuff out. But I guess, you know, if I gotta disassemble the head, I have this budget, I can do that. So yeah, it looks like the head is like the major part that can change. The arms, you're gonna change the forearms. Armor just a little bit. I love that this runner is curved. That's just wonderful. I'm gonna have to do some painting on details, like inside the vents are all gonna have to be painted like a dark gray or black for that matter, just depending. And because I am gonna be building this starting this week, I'm gonna. This will definitely be on the list for the end of the year. Whether War Greymon gets done from last time, it'll just depend. So this will probably take me 2 or 3 days. I'll be panel lining just for like an hour and a half, probably. Because it's like I'm gonna have to go through and be like, okay, what can I panel line, or what am I using? Oh yeah, let me look at the backpack right quick. Oh yeah, there's the water slide guide. Super simple. Oh yeah, so there's a difference. Depending on which unit you want, to use different things on the shoulders. I'll probably just go with the Hazel ones and just not worry too much about the Quel ones. If I had spare shoulders, I could do that, but I wish they gave you enough shoulders that you could just build extra. That would be awesome. Actually, they don't do that, right? Like, just double checking, they don't do that. So if you really wanted to have enough of these, you would have to buy this kit multiple times to have like a Quel, and like you'd have to buy it 3 times to fully get it. Yeah, you don't have, like, you get multiple butt skirts. Trying to figure out where's the shoulder. Where's the shoulder armor? Is it here? It's got to be. I think it's this section here. Okay, I was going to the backpack parts. So, okay. The Quel has its own. Okay, so early type is a big thing, and the other two use the smaller Quel style backpack. Pretty easy to avoid doing, I guess. Don't know. Okay, so that uses I-113, I-213. That gives you the big old backy pack. Okay, it does come with whole separate thrusters, so you can swap the backpacks wholly, so that's not a problem. Weapons. including shields. Shield should be the same for all three, right? Come here. Okay, so it builds the little rifle, the bigger rifle, and the shield. That's it. Nothing different between them. That's pretty cool. Big old beam saber. Yep. So that's pretty cool. Either way. All right. So, guys, of course, thanks for making the choice. I figured I might get to this one, but I wasn't sure. I'm just glad you guys kind of came to consensus on that. So this will be the definite build by the end of the year. The next thing after that will be War Greymon, even though that's a much easier kit for me to build. So I'm going to have to do... Ooh, I just noticed this. Okay, hold on. This sensor has a huge thruster in it. Or, I'm sorry, the thruster has a huge sensor in it. Yeah, I'm going to have to go over the details because, like, a lot of this stuff is going to need some painted detail. Like this. And these parts are all going to need something, probably, if I had to guess. Yep. I mean, it's a cool thing. You know, it's a very interesting thing because this really represents how the Hazels kind of came to be from one thing to another. I like that it started as a Jim Quel using spare parts, became the Hazel Reserve unit, and then eventually got upgraded to the Hazel early type. Nice. So it only gained the Gundam designation when it became the Hazel 2. So, alright guys, but I'll check you out later. Remember, as always, to keep on building.